Hi, Adam from ClearBlast. I'm going to go over the operational setup of the ClearBlast 650. First thing you want to do is make sure you have your ear protection, mask for any kind of dust particulates, as well as gloves to protect your hands. First step, you're going to go ahead and take a garden hose, fill up your onboard water tank. You can also fill some of the hopper if you're looking to use this off-site, no water. Makes better use of your storage tank. Next step, you're going to go ahead and just double check, make sure your pump has oil. This is good practice for the start of the week. You have a sight glass showing the level. You want that at least halfway full. This comes with a nice pump oil bottle with a spout. That is your fill port. You could also use a simple air tool oil for that. Next thing we're going to do is hook up our air line. So we have here a 4-prong quick coupler. You can also supply this with a spud coupling, depending on what your air compressor uses. Throw on our whip check. Make sure that's secure and move our on around. So next thing you have is the blast hose connection. It's a simple Chicago fitting. And then we have some twin lines that will go on. Just simply hand tight, does not matter which way these go. This is for your dead man trigger. Next, I can go ahead and confirm the slurry ball valve is shut, and then we can connect this to our panel. This is a cam fitting. So we'll latch that on, and we also have 2 safety pins for that. And below, you have another ball valve. You want to make sure that is open. That is a service ball valve. You do not need to use that unless you're trying to remove the slurry line and leave any contents in the pot. So that is in the open position. This is in the off position for now. We are filling the pot, so we're going to go ahead and take this dump ball valve and close that as well. All right, so we're back with the ClearBlast 650. We've made all of our hose connections. We're going to go ahead and fill up the hopper. Now, we already put water in our water tank, which means we can go ahead and turn on our air supply. At that point, our pump is functional and we can use it. So, first thing is you have a wash hose right up top here, simple ball valve. Open that up, and that will begin to put water into the pot. Now, you want to make sure you put water in there before you put dry abrasive, just to avoid any kind of dry packed material at the bottom. Now, you're just going to run that as much time as it takes you to pick up a bag of media, and that's enough water to get started. So we'll open up that bag of media, making sure not to get any of that bag in there and mess up our flow. And you can start dumping those in. So this vessel can handle about 8 bags of crushed glass, the 50-pound bags, as well as up to 10 bags of garnet. So depending on that material, we'll alter the amount of bags you're putting in there. All the while, we are still filling the pot. Once you have your abrasive dumped in, you can finish off rinsing in the material with your wash hose here, and then turn this off, and we'll go to our control board. So at this stage, we'll go ahead and put it into pressurize, and that'll continue filling the vessel from the inside. Now this is gonna, again, fill. Our patented float here will then come up automatically. The pot will vent, and your pot pressure will on its own come up to 140 psi. And you'll know your pump's there once it stops pumping. You can also confirm that using your pot pressure gauge here on the panel. Now, once your pot is pressurized, we're ready to go on to the next step, which is go to blast. So we'll go to blast mode on the wheel. We will open up the slurry valve, allowing that flow to go from the pot into the panel. And then we will confirm our e-stop is up, just by simply twisting that. Next thing you want to do is make your settings before you pull the trigger. Now you can adjust up or down from 30 psi upwards of 120 psi on your pressure, and that will then determine how much abrasive you're going to add to the system. Now if you're only blasting at 30 psi, you only need about a crack of abrasive dose, or upwards of 2.5 to 3 turns if you're maxing out at 120 psi. The other dial here is going to be your water only dosing valve, which 90% of the time you're not really going to need. It's really just there to wetten that mixture a bit more if you're in extremely dry conditions, or say you're in an enclosed area where you really want to knock down that dust. You go ahead and crack that open. Again, really not going much more than a 1/4 turn. Otherwise, just making more of a mess than you need to. So we are then obviously going to put on our protection that we talked about and pull the trigger and get to blasting and removing, cleaning, and taking away all that nasty grime that you've come here to do. So that is the operational setup of the CLEARBLAST 650. I'm Adam Souls. Thank you very much.